Welcome to The New Left. Thank you so much to our newest patrons, June Song, Keen Ballantyne, Ross Coyle, and Ryan Cloutier. So Tulsi Gabbard has been getting attacked relentlessly in the media ever since she announced her campaign, because Tulsi Gabbard is the most progressive candidate in the race for president right now, and she is running far to the left of even Bernie Sanders. While Bernie Sanders has been attaching himself to interventionist wars in Syria, in Venezuela, and Russia, Tulsi Gabbard has been out there standing up for peace.
The United States has a disastrous history of military intervention and regime change around the world, which has brought suffering to millions of people. It's bankrupted our country, dishonored our troops, and it's undermined our national security. We must end this policy now before we get into yet another military conflict, this time in Venezuela.
So, a lot of us have been really confused by Bernie's actions lately and why he's not speaking the same way that he did before. But there are real reasons for why this is happening, and it has to do with corruption inside the Democratic Party and can be traced back to the deal that Bernie made with the DNC last summer to limit the role of superdelegates in the primary. Now, we thought that this was a huge win for progressives, that we were getting rid of superdelegates, and that's exactly what the media blasted everywhere. But the real truth is that the DNC wrote rules into their charter that basically try to destroy the progressive movement and will keep Bernie Sanders from actually getting the nomination. The first of which has to do with the superdelegates that we just thought we got rid of. We did reduce the number of superdelegates, but only for the first round of voting at the convention. And if Bernie Sanders does not get over 50% of all the delegates, then voting will go to a second round, and all of the superdelegates that we thought we got rid of come right back. So basically, the DNC just has to mess up the vote in the first round, and we go to a second round and all the superdelegates are back. And even if Bernie Sanders wins by a landslide, he will still lose just the same way that he did in 2016. And I know that this sounds terrible, but this is absolutely nothing compared to the Orwellian nightmarish rule that the DNC also added last summer. The DNC last summer also added a rule that a candidate for president in the Democratic Party must be in complete agreement with the party establishment, the neoliberals, and if they say anything that goes against the establishment at all, then they can no longer become president from within inside the Democratic Party. The rules state that a candidate must basically be in lockstep with the Democratic Party in all of their words, all of their writings, and all of their speeches. And if they say anything that disagrees with the party establishment, then by the DNC's own rules, that candidate is no longer considered a real Democrat and cannot receive the party's nomination. So, as Nick Brana reports, it gives Tom Perez the power to just say the words, "Bernie's not a real Democrat," and Bernie Sanders loses even if he wins. So, knowing this, it makes Bernie's actions for the last year make so much more sense, because the DNC literally placed a muzzle on Bernie Sanders, and if he says one single thing that goes against the party establishment and these corrupt neoliberals, then Bernie Sanders loses this race the moment that he says it. They literally are trying to make it a thought crime to be a progressive inside the Democratic Party. And that is why Bernie Sanders needs Tulsi Gabbard. Because Bernie Sanders needs Tulsi Gabbard to literally say the things that he can't say. And he needs her delegates at that convention if he is going to have any chance of making it out in the first round of the primary. And Tulsi Gabbard's not running against Bernie Sanders because by the DNC's own rules, Tulsi Gabbard is already disqualified from becoming president because according to their rules, Tulsi Gabbard is not a real Democrat and can't receive the nomination. So we are insane as progressives if we do not stand up and support Tulsi, regardless of whether we are voting for Bernie or Tulsi. We need to remember who Tulsi Gabbard is. She was the DNC vice chair who resigned her position to not only endorse, but to join Bernie Sanders' campaign in 2016. And she destroyed her entire political career to try and do the right thing. And that is why she is so worth defending. Because Tulsi Gabbard is not running against Bernie Sanders. Tulsi Gabbard is running for Bernie Sanders. Listen to Tulsi Gabbard tell you 3 years ago about why this country needs Bernie.
Being a warrior is about believing in what you are fighting for and holding strong to those convictions. I felt a sense of duty, and I could not in good conscience stay back here in beautiful Hawaii and watch my brothers and sisters in uniform go off into combat. These are people and friends who we never forget and who we strive to honor every day that we are blessed to live and breathe. Bernie Sanders voted against the Iraq War. He understands the cost of war, that cost is continued when our veterans come home. Bernie Sanders will defend our country and take the trillions of dollars that are spent on these interventionist, regime change, unnecessary wars and invest it here at home. The American people are not looking to settle for inches. They're looking for real change. What I saw in Bernie was a heart of aloha. No matter who you are, where you come from in this country, that we are all in this together. My name is Tulsi Gabbard, and I support Bernie Sanders to be our next president and commander-in-chief.
I'm Bernie Sanders, and I approve this message.
So please, even if you are voting for Bernie, help support Tulsi Gabbard because she is one of us, and we literally cannot do this without her. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to click like and subscribe. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please consider supporting the show on Patreon or donating.